In this episode, walking to school, cybersecurity, and its homecoming season. From the heart of Paradise, I'm Matt.
And I'm Sarah. And of course, joining us in studio as always is our amazing team helping us produce the show.
Exciting episode today. We've got three things to talk about. We kind of talked about it in the lead-in, walking to school, cybersecurity, and homecoming. This is a great time of year in a school district.
It really is, yeah.
Calling all 8th grade families, whether your student is interested in a STEM career or excels in the humanities, PVSchools has a path for you. Apply to Crest at Paradise Valley High School for an esteemed science and engineering education, or check out the acclaimed DAPS program at Shadow Mountain High School to master interdisciplinary studies. Find your unique journey of excellence here in Paradise. Applications for both programs are now open. To learn more and to get started, visit pvschools.net.
Attention PV Schools, K-8 parent-teacher conferences are coming up the week of October 27th to the 30th. High schoolers, check your calendars for conference dates. Make sure to turn in all your work in on time and talk to your teachers if you have any questions. You still have time to make a difference, and your effort will be worth it.
Now, back to the beat. PVBeat, that is.
So it's again, things are cooling off. And I think the nice part about that is we allowed Grayhawk Elementary. We went out there because they had their national or their annual, what is it called?
Walk, bike, roll to school day. This is something they've been doing for quite a while, but this year was special because it's the first time as a Blue Zone approved school that they're doing this event.
Right, and part of being a Blue Zone approved is you really want to promote health and wellness and fitness, and so it just kind of already adds on to the fact that they're keeping kids healthy.
Definitely a new point of pride for that school. Also, this event, just in and of itself, brings the community together. First responders were there. Pretty cool event.
Is officially a Blue Zones approved school, which means they're doing a lot of things for their school environment, for health on campus, nutrition. They have environments that are conducive to moving naturally throughout the school day. They practice mindfulness, and this walk to school day is just an opportunity for connection, between parents, families, students, teachers, and it's an opportunity for movement starting the day. So yeah, that's what we're here celebrating today, and we hope to do more of them this year as well.
All right, we're here with Larry, who is a parent here at Grayhawk. Hi, Larry. Did you walk, bike, or roll today?
Walked twice. Actually parked at the school and then walked to where we needed to go.
All right. Well, that's awesome. How was that experience?
It was actually really good. It was nice and easy. Fortunately, not a lot of people out on the road, so it made it really easy to get here.
All right. Well, with this, with Grayhawk being a Blue Zones approved school, how does this make you feel about, being walking and taking that initiative to a healthy, active lifestyle?
Well, I think it's great. Anything that we can do to actually get the kids moving is fantastic. And we are consistently now doing this, or we've been doing this for the last 2 years since we've been here, and it's been a great experience, and we're headed in the right direction.
So did you walk, bike, or rolled here today?
I rolled here today in my truck.
You rolled here today.
Yeah.
And so what was your big part in the event today?
Just being here for the kids, smiling, being in the podcast, and drinking some coffee.
Sounds like a great day.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for protecting our kids and, enjoying this wonderful day that supports, active lifestyle initiatives.
Well, thank you for having me. I mean, this is just part of being in the community and enjoying and letting the kids see another side of us that's not always so dark or, rough and tough. We have the softer side too.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Very cool. Thank you to everybody who made that event possible. And if you're listening, definitely check out the social media accounts for the district because there's some pretty cute dogs there at the end of that video. Next up, Sarah, we're talking about something that is a big part of October annually, Cybersecurity Month.
Yeah, so this is Cybersecurity Month. And before we get into our segment for the podcast, I wanted to talk to you a little bit because, as you know, I was a part of the FBI Citizens Academy. And it was a ton of information. And one of the areas we talked about a lot were cyber crimes and cybersecurity. So I'm going to share a few kind of just fun facts with you and the listener and just kind of to give some FBI information. Okay, so they talk about cybersecurity crimes being the largest forms of crimes that take place throughout the United States. Because obviously a lot of people have access to computers, the internet, and things take place behind the screens. A lot of cyber crimes, the person perpetrating them, they're creating a sense of urgency. So when you get an email a link. Sometimes it's through text message. There's always going to be a sense of urgency that you have to do something, and that's usually a red flag. They want you to kind of take your time, think about it, because a lot of times things don't make sense when it's an email.
One of the things that I heard also a while back was if you didn't ask for it and you're receiving something through email, you should question it. And
Yes.
it might not be legitimate. And if you do think that it could be legitimate, it's always best to seek out that organization in a way that isn't listed in the email that they're sending you.
Right. So they talk about checking the URL. So for example, you could have something that seems legit, but instead of saying like .com, they might say .net, and they just tweak it slightly. And people don't always pay attention to that. So one thing that the FBI special agents recommended is if you get an email, let's say it seems like it's from a legit source, but you're not quite sure, to call the company from a separate number that's not provided in the email. So call them, ask for the person in the email, ask to talk to them. They said that any company should be willing to meet up with you. If they're not, that's also a red flag. If they can't meet up, again, they're pressuring you, it's urgent, that's usually a sign that something's wrong. Obviously, they say don't answer phones, text, emails. If it's from someone you don't know, don't click on links, don't download PDFs. They always talk about backing up your information offline. Obviously, you don't want to do it on a source that people have access to. And they mentioned that really no one should be calling, texting, emailing you, asking you for money. That's a big red flag. So if you have bills with a certain company and you owe them, that's to be expected. But when you get the random email that says you better pay us or else you'll go to jail, we'll close your account, again, usually a red flag. So call the company and double check. And obviously the last part is don't provide too much personal information online. So aside from even just cybersecurity, but also social media, if you're giving your name, your location, where you went to dinner, your family's name, pictures of your kids, that makes it really easy for criminals to piece together a story and reach out to you pretending as if they know you. So
Another big trend in social media posting over the last couple of years is also holding off on posting those vacation photos.
Right.
So when you're not at home, you're not announcing that you're not at home.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing is if you do feel like you've been a part of a cyber crime, the FBI recommends you reach out to ic3.gov. That's the Internet Crimes Complaint Center. And all of those get processed actually kind of through like a system, and they get assigned to agents. And usually you'll have someone who can contact you and help you kind of get things figured out if you feel like you've been a victim.
So you got to represent the PVSchools Marketing and Communications Department at the FBI Citizens Academy to kind of build that relationship, maintain the relationship, because we have a lot of communication back and forth with law enforcement agencies. So you had that experience, but students in our schools also get experience with cybersecurity information. It's kind of embedded into the day.
Yeah, and so we had a few students who went out to the Elks Lodge right up the road here from the district, and they got to speak to attendees about cybersecurity, just kind of teaching people what to look for, because technology is always changing. And so sometimes people who are most vulnerable to cyber crimes, they tend to be in an age group where maybe they don't have a reason to be using a lot of technology. And so they need to learn the latest and greatest.
Yeah, unfortunately, these scammers are preying on the good nature of people, which is really sad. But by watching out for each other, by helping educate, something that these students were doing this past weekend, that is one way that we can help combat cybersecurity issues within our community.
Yeah. And so we have, there's obviously B-roll playing as we're talking, but I wanted to give you a little quiz.
Oh, yeah.
So, I like to
Love
quiz you and
quizzes.
see if you're an expert on anything. Again, excuse me when I look away from the camera and I look at my quiz here. Okay, this one's a little long, so pay attention.
Okay.
A seemingly legitimate email lands in your inbox from a well-known company, say it's your bank. It asks you to click on a link to verify your account details immediately to avoid a suspension. The link looks almost identical to your bank's website, but a closer look at the URL, it shows a slight typo. Instead of bank.net, it says bank.com. What type of attack is this called? A, ransomware, B, phishing, C, malware, or D, smishing?
I'm going to say phishing because it's trying to trick me into providing my account information kind of within my own free will.
Good. Yep, perfect.
Yes.
Thank you. The answer is phishing. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Imagine you're at a coffee shop and you need to check your email. You see an open public Wi-Fi network called free public Wi-Fi. You connect to it. What is the primary risk of using this type of network without taking any precautions? I don't know if I should give you even options. I think you can guess that one.
Yeah, I would say that this probably could be easy to fall into. But I think maybe you run the risk of connecting to a network that is not safe or maybe has been put in place to trick you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It says your device is vulnerable to having its data intercepted by a hacker on the same network. So obviously, you got 2 out of 2, 100%.
So at the coffee shops, those little signs that say, here's our Wi-Fi network and here's the password if there is one, those actually serve a cybersecurity purpose.
Right, so
That's
free
pretty
public
awesome.
Wi-Fi. But again, this month is Cybersecurity Month. We just always like to have our listeners or our viewers know what's going on. We want to keep you in the loop.
Yeah, in our community. And then it's also a great time to kind of highlight the work that our information technology department, our teaching staff, our support staff throughout the district, the work that they're doing daily to help maintain good cybersecurity practices here in Paradise.
Yes. All right, so up next we have, you mentioned at the beginning, it's homecoming season, which again, I always think of, football games. My school, we used to do a bonfire. We would do parades, which the parade was always one of my favorite parts of homecoming, was building this big float that we got to take around the school.
Yeah, I'm not from a small town, but compared to the Phoenix area and our district, definitely I came from a small town. And the parade was a huge community event. It was down a main street. It was massive. And we kind of have a taste of that here in PV as well. Shadow Mountain High School last week celebrated their homecoming. I had the opportunity to go out and see their parade for the first time. I've been trying to get to it for years. This is the first time I was able to make it happen, and it certainly is a community event. The amount of neighbors, kids from other elementary schools in the surrounding area that were there, it was just incredible. Their floats were from different clubs or sports, different student groups. Such a great way to show off all the things going on at Shadow Mountain in a fun parade atmosphere.
Was it extra special for you because your son goes to Shadow Mountain?
I am a Shadow Mountain parent, so I'm excited to have experienced that with the rest of the Shadow Mountain community. And it wasn't just a parade, though. If it was that would have been cool. But they also had like a carnival in the main courtyard of the high school following that parade right before the football game. So that carnival was pretty cool. I got to see a lot of really fun things that kids got to participate in. There was, gosh, I can't even think. Cotton candy. Yeah, they were making cotton candy. They had some food trucks. There were some rides and blow up inflatable like obstacle course kinds of things.
I heard there was a dunk tank.
I would say that's the highlight, the dunk tank. The new principal at Shadow Mountain High School this year, Heidi Benuelos, she and other staff members jumped in the dunk tank, and I'm glad I was there early because the principal got dunked on the very first throw. Hopefully that student is thinking about softball coming up.
Oh, yeah, I would say so. I think they have a really good softball team, too. So I think it's great that you got to go out there, see the students, support the community. They kind of call that area the Shaberhood, and it's neat to see the kids who will go from the elementary school to the middle school up to Shadow, and they're all a part of this from the very beginning. Yeah,
and we have that community vibe at all of our high schools and throughout the district. It was fun getting the opportunity to see how that played out at Shadow. Sarah, we have talked about a bunch today, but that happens to be the podcast. To find out more information about the many journeys of excellence, visit pvschools.net.
You can also find PV Schools on social media by searching at PV Schools. Make sure to support student success by liking, commenting, and sharing.
And as always, support the pod by rating us on Apple and Spotify and sharing new episodes on the social media platform of your choice.
Bye.
Bye.